This is an important issue for the people of Blaenau Gwent and across the South Wales coalfield. I want to focus on people I know and why they need a fairer deal. People in my family, like my Uncle Desi and his comrades. Madam Deputy Speaker, I do need to declare an interest. My family worked in coal and steel, the two industries that drove our industrial revolution and built Great Britain. My great-great-grandfather was an iron puddler from Merthyr. It says on my birth certificate that my dad was a labourer at the GKN Steelworks in Cardiff. My great-grandfather was killed down the pit. My grandfather got crushed under a coal fall at Markham Colliery. The three uncles on my mum's side were colliers. Their stories are important to explain why we need action, and I'll just concentrate on one of these. My uncle Desi Winter started work when he was 15 at the NCB brickyard in Tredegar. After this, he started working underground in the Oakdale Colliery, further down the Sahawi Valley, where he spent the next 17 and a half years of his life. There, he worked alongside his brother-in-law, and his butties from Ashvale. Several generations of Tredegar families worked at this pit to keep the lights on, the fires burning, and our country running. At work, they faced daily dangers, explosions from gas leaks, flooding, and of course, the dust. Now, Desi's generation saw the industry change from prosperity to the miners' strike. Oakdale closed in 1989. Marine Colliery, where my Uncle Jackie worked, closed the same year. The mines are pretty much now all gone. The coal industry employed 400,000 people in the year that Desi started. Now just 700 work in coal, and there are 150,000 mining pensioners. The government's obligations to Desi's comrades and thousands like them have to be met. When I speak to Desi about the pension scheme, his first concern is making sure that widows get a fair share. They currently get around 2/3 of the pension, but with colliers getting perhaps £84 a week, that fall of around £30 a week is really, really hard for widows. Desi paid him for decades and thinks his wife should get her fair share. The second thing he talks about is just how much money the government gets from the scheme. Now, the government guarantee is critical. I don't think anyone will dispute that it is needed. But there is a real question about how much the government receives in return for that. The current arrangements have netted the government over £4 billion since 1994. £4 billion plus. That's right. Pensioners subsidising the government. Billions of pounds pocketed by the Chancellor without the Treasury making any direct payments into the scheme itself. Exactly. Now, Desi feels the government is taking the cream off the top of the miners' money, and who could disagree with him? When I spoke to him recently and asked him what his friends from the pit thought about the pension deal, he told me, "Nick, there's not so many here now." Madam Deputy Speaker, 6,500 miners passed away last year alone. The government has a duty of care to those who are left and to their families for all they've done. So I call on the Minister to do two things to help set things right. First, can the government implement the proposals that the trustees have made about protecting pension bonuses? This means miners will have a larger guaranteed pension pot. Secondly, it must bring forward a review of the current sharing arrangements. This should look at the government taking a reduced share, so more money can go to retired miners and their widows. Madam Deputy Speaker, Desi and his generation just want fair play. They put in decades of physically tough, dangerous work to dig coal and keep the economy going for all of our futures. Now, the government must repay this debt to them. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.